Introduction to Business, 2nd edition, an OpenStax textbook. Read along with the full text at openstax.org. This audiobook was produced by Open Audio. Listen for free on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or on our website at openaudio.us.
Chapter 11. Creating Products and Pricing Strategies to Meet Customers' Needs. Introduction.
Learning Outcomes. After reading this chapter, you should be able to answer these questions. 1. What is the marketing concept and relationship building? 2. How do managers create a marketing strategy? 3. What is the marketing mix? 4. How do consumers and organizations make buying decisions? 5. What are the 5 basic forms of consumer and business market segmentation? 6. What is a product and how is it classified? 7. How do organizations create new products? 8. What are the stages of the product lifecycle? 9. What strategies are used for pricing products and what are the future trends? 10. What trends are occurring in products and pricing?
Exploring Business Careers. Rachel Coeur-Khan, Mark Cuban's Shark Tank Empire. Rachel Coeur-Khan previously led product and innovation work supporting Mark Cuban's portfolio of companies, including investments in the ABC show Shark Tank. After watching an early episode, Coeur emailed Mark Cuban and attached a resume that highlighted her mechanical engineering and product development expertise. Her approach appealed to Cuban, and she was contacted the next day by Abe Minkara, founding partner at Legacy Knight and former managing director at Mark Cuban Companies. After a Skype interview in which Minkara was impressed with Coeur's skill set of both creativity and attention to process, she was hired to fill that role and work with several startups that Cuban acquired an investment in through the show. Today, Coeur coaches and collaborates with companies on product and innovation through the firm she founded. Productable. Rather than start out with detailed plans and building sophisticated prototypes, Coeur preferred to first sketch out basic ideas, using items such as whiteboards and post-it notes instead of electronic tools. Such an approach uses the best practices from brainstorming to steer the direction of product development, before spending lots of resources, both human and financial, on a single idea for too long. This approach also allows the product development team to incorporate the user experience, which is sometimes overlooked when the focus is squarely on the product. One of the companies that Coeur worked with created Chapool cricket bars. Chapool, founded by Pat Crowley, popularized cricket flour protein bars after appearing on Shark Tank and receiving an investment from Mark Cuban. The company used flavor-forward naming as it worked to broaden appeal. Chapool later pivoted away from consumer protein bars and refocused on insect agriculture. Chapool Farms. Another Cuban investment was the Austin, Texas-based Beatbox Beverages. To better understand how typical consumers would relate to boxed-flavored cocktails, Coeur attended several fraternity parties at Southern Methodist University and off-campus bars. She asked questions that addressed how a variety of consumers decide on what to drink, on different occasions and in different settings. Since securing a $1 million investment from Cuban and working with Rachel Coeur, online and in-store sales have significantly increased, according to Justin Fenchel, Beatbox Beverages CEO.
Marketing plays a key role in the success of businesses. It is the task of marketing to generate sales for the firm. Sales revenue, in turn, pays workers' salaries, buys supplies, covers the costs of new buildings and equipment, and hopefully enables the company to earn a profit. This chapter looks at the nature of marketing and the creation of product and pricing strategies to meet customers' needs. In this chapter, you will learn about the marketing concept, marketing strategies, and consumer and business buying decisions. You will also see how the marketing mix is used to create sales opportunities. We discuss how new products are created and how they go through periods of sales growth and then decline. Next, you will discover how managers set prices to reach organizational goals.
11.1. The marketing concept. Learning objective. What is the marketing concept and relationship building?
Marketing is the process of getting the right goods or services or ideas to the right people at the right place, time, and price. Using the right promotion techniques and utilizing the appropriate people to provide the customer service associated with those goods, services, or ideas. This concept is referred to as the right principle and is the basis of all marketing strategy. We can say that marketing is finding out the needs and wants of potential buyers, whether organizations or consumers, and then providing goods and services that meet or exceed the expectations of those buyers. Marketing is about creating exchanges. An exchange takes place when two parties give something of value to each other to satisfy their respective needs or wants. In a typical exchange, a consumer trades money for a good or service. In some exchanges, non-monetary things are exchanged, such as when a person who volunteers for the company charity receives a t-shirt in exchange for time spent. One common misconception is that some people see no difference between marketing and sales. They are two different things that are both part of a company's strategy. Sales incorporates actually selling the company's products or service to its customers, while marketing is the process of communicating the value of a product or service to customers so that the product or service sells. To encourage exchanges, marketers follow the right principle. If a local boutique does not have the right clothing size for a potential customer when the customer wants it, at the price they are willing to pay, the potential customer will not purchase the new clothing item. Think about the last exchange or purchase you made. What if the price had been 30% higher? What if the store or other source had been less accessible? Would you have bought anything? The right principle tells us that marketers control many factors that determine marketing success. Most successful organizations have adopted the marketing concept. The marketing concept is based on the right principle. The marketing concept is the use of marketing data to focus on the needs and wants of customers in order to develop marketing strategies that not only satisfy the needs of the customers, but also accomplish the goals of the organization. An organization uses the marketing concept when it identifies the buyer's needs and then produces the goods, services, or ideas that will satisfy them using the right principle. The marketing concept is oriented toward pleasing customers, be those customers, organizations, or consumers, by offering value. Specifically, the marketing concept involves the following: focusing on the needs and wants of the customers, so the organization can distinguish its products from competitors' offerings. Products can be goods, services, or ideas. Integrating all of the organization's activities, including production and promotion, to satisfy these wants and needs. Achieving long-term goals for the organization by satisfying customer wants and needs legally and responsibly. Today, companies of every size in all industries are applying the marketing concept. Enterprise Rent-A-Car found that its customers didn't want to have to drive to its offices. Therefore, Enterprise began delivering vehicles to customers' homes or places of work. Disney found that some of its patrons really disliked waiting in lines. In response, the company originally introduced FastPass as a free way to reduce perceived waiting. Today, Disney monetizes that benefit through paid Lightning Lane passes. One important key to understanding the marketing concept is to know that using the marketing concept means the product is created after market research is used to identify the needs and wants of the customers. Products are not just created by production departments, and then marketing departments are expected to identify ways to sell them based on the research. An organization that truly utilizes the marketing concept uses the data about potential customers from the very inception of the product to create the best good, service, or idea possible, as well as other marketing strategies to support it. Customer value. Customer value is the ratio of benefits for the customer, organization, or consumer to the sacrifice necessary to obtain those benefits. The customer determines the value of both the benefits and the sacrifices. Creating customer value is a core business strategy of many successful firms. Customer value is rooted in the belief that price is not the only thing that matters. A business that focuses on the cost of production and price to the customer will be managed as though it were providing a commodity differentiated only by price. In contrast, businesses that provide customer value believe that many customers will pay a premium for superior customer service or accept fewer services for a value price. It is important not to base value on price instead of service or quality, because customers who only value price will buy from the competition as soon as a competitor can offer a lower price. It is much better to use marketing strategies based on customer relationships and service, which are harder for the competition to replicate. Southwest Airlines historically differentiated itself with simple service and formerly open seating. Today, it offers assigned seating. And while it typically does not provide complimentary full meals, it does offer snacks and beverages and in-flight entertainment, often via streaming to personal devices. Southwest emphasizes operational reliability, and its on-time performance is competitive with other major U.S. carriers. In 2025, Southwest was ranked the highest in customer satisfaction for economy airlines for the fourth year in a row, beating out JetBlue and Delta Airlines. Customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is a theme stressed throughout this text. Customer satisfaction is the customer's feeling that a product has met or exceeded expectations. Expectations are often the result of communication, especially promotion. Utilizing marketing research to identify specific expectations and then crafting marketing strategy to meet or exceed those expectations is a major contributor to success for an organization. Lexus consistently wins awards for its outstanding customer satisfaction. Lexus frequently ranks highly in J.D. Power studies, which measure different aspects of ownership at different times, such as initial quality shortly after purchase and dependability based on reported problems in 3-year-old vehicles. Lexus continues to lead the industry and has been America's top-ranked vehicle for 3 years in a row, based on the 2025 survey.
Exhibit 11.2. Geico, the major auto insurer with the scaly mascot, famously boasts a 97% customer satisfaction rating. Although the firm's claim may be exaggerated a bit, consumers get the message that Geico delivers quality insurance coverage at low prices. In what way does the company's quirky and ubiquitous advertising, in which customers claim to have saved a bunch of money on car insurance by switching to Geico, influence customers' service expectations?
Building relationships. Relationship marketing is a strategy that focuses on forging long-term partnerships with customers. Companies build relationships with customers by offering value and providing customer satisfaction. Once relationships are built with customers, customers tend to continue to purchase from the same company, even if the prices of the competitors are less or if the competition offers sales promotions or incentives. Customers, both organizations and consumers, tend to buy products from suppliers whom they trust and feel a kinship with, regardless of offerings of unknown competitors. Companies benefit from repeat sales and referrals that lead to increases in sales, market share, and profits. Costs fall because it is less expensive to serve existing customers than to attract new ones. Focusing on customer retention can be a winning tactic. Studies show that increasing customer retention rates by 5% increases profits by anywhere from 25 to 95%. Customers also benefit from stable relationships with suppliers. Business buyers have found that partnerships with their suppliers are essential to producing high-quality products while cutting costs. Customers remain loyal to firms that provide them greater value and satisfaction than they expect from competing firms. Frequent buyer clubs are an excellent way to build long-term relationships. Most major airlines have frequent flyer programs. Members earn points or miles, often based on ticket spending and other activity, and can redeem them for award travel with some restrictions. Now, cruise lines, hotels, car rental agencies, credit card companies, and even mortgage companies give away airline miles with purchases. Consumers patronize the airline and its partners because they want the free tickets. Thus, The program helps to create a long-term relationship with and ongoing benefits for the customer. Southwest's Rapid Rewards loyalty program offers member perks such as points that can be redeemed for flights and partner rewards, plus tier-based benefits for frequent flyers.
Concept check. 1. Explain the marketing concept. 2. Explain the difference between customer value and customer satisfaction. 3. What is meant by relationship marketing?
.2 Creating a marketing strategy. Learning objective. How do managers create a marketing strategy?
What is marketing strategy? Marketers use a number of different tools to develop the products or services that meet the needs and wants of their customers, provide excellent value for the customers, and satisfy those customers. Marketing strategy is really 5 different components of marketing. These components are traditionally called the 4 Ps of marketing. However, this chapter includes an additional component, people, to create a new total of 5 Ps. They are the methods, tools, and processes used by marketers to develop and market products. In Chapter 12, we will analyze an additional P, packaging, but will continue to refer to these components as 5 Ps. These 5 tools are also called the marketing mix. These are the 5 Ps. Product, something offered in exchange, and for which marketing actions are taken and marketing decisions made. Products can be goods, physical things, such as smartphones, or services, such as the telecommunications that must be used for a smartphone to work, or ideas, such as the thought that being constantly connected through telecommunications is absolutely crucial in today's society. All products have both tangible and intangible aspects. Price, something given in exchange for a product. Price may be monetary or non-monetary, such as waiting in long lines for a restaurant or giving blood at the local blood bank. Price has many names, such as rent, fees, charges, and others. Place, some method of getting the product from the creator of the product to the customer. Place includes a myriad of important tasks: transportation, location, supply chain management, managing each entity that deals with the product in its route to the buyer, online presence, inventory, and atmospherics, how the office, store, or website looks. Promotion, methods for informing and influencing customers to buy the product. Promotion includes several different components: traditional advertising, sales promotion, public relations, personal selling, social media, and e-commerce. Promotion is often mistaken for marketing because it is the most visible part of marketing. However, marketing encompasses much more than just promotion. People, methods of utilizing organization employees to support the marketing strategies of the company. All products have both tangible and intangible aspects. People, as a marketing strategy, are crucial to the development of the product's intangible aspects. Marketers utilize the tools of marketing strategy to develop new products and sell them in the marketplace. But marketers cannot create products in isolation. Marketers must understand and consider all aspects of the external environment in order to create marketing programs or plans that will be successful in the current market and in future markets. Thus, many organizations assemble a team of specialists to continually collect and evaluate environmental information, a process called environmental scanning. The goal in gathering the environmental data is to identify current and future market opportunities and threats. Companies in high-tech industries understand the importance of environmental scanning to monitor rapidly changing consumer interests. After the emergence of PCs, processor speeds have grown exponentially alongside a convergence of technologies. The digital industry, manufacturers of computers and smartphones, as examples, has converged with the entertainment industry, such as radio, streaming, and the internet. This convergence is already creating great opportunities for new products. More wearable technologies such as fitness rings or home appliances with smartphone integration that are not affiliated with companies in the digital or tech industries. One clear winner in this new world so far is Apple, which has leveraged its computer platform to make it easy and fashionable for consumers to become experts in the digital age. Apple has capitalized on this through the development of iPhones, iPads, and the Apple Watch. Apple sells more iPads per year than it does MacBooks, and over 200 million iPhones. Microsoft is a top competitor in this business, as is HP, Hewlett-Packard. Both companies offer strong competition to Apple and are investing in AI and how it is transforming the industry. Another competitor to watch is Samsung. Samsung's advantage over Apple is its diverse business model in providing products to consumers, but also participating in business-to-business relationships by selling components to other companies, with Apple being one of them. Finally, the device-free streaming services, such as Amazon Music, Pandora, and Spotify, have provided competition to Apple while helping to restore profitability to the music industry. In general, 6 categories of environmental data shape most marketing decisions. Cultural and social forces include such factors as the buying behaviors of specific cultures and subcultures, the values of potential customers, the changing roles of families, and other societal trends such as employees working from home and flexible work hours. Demographic forces includes such factors as changes in the ages of potential customers. For instance, baby boomers, millennials, or Gen Z, birth and death rates, and locations of various groups of people. Economic forces includes such factors as changing incomes, unemployment levels, inflation, and recession. Technological forces includes such factors as advances in AI and computer technology. Political and legal forces includes such factors as changes in laws, regulatory agency activities, and political movements. Competitive forces include such factors as new and shifting competition from domestic and foreign-based firms. Defining the target market. Marketers develop the information about the environment to get a clear picture of the total market for the product, including environmental factors. Once the marketers understand the various environmental factors, specific target markets must then be chosen from the total market. Marketers focus on providing value for a well-defined target market or target markets. The target market is the specific group of customers, which could be organizations or individual consumers, toward which a firm directs its marketing efforts. Monster Energy Drinks targets people 18 to 34 years old, and those interested in gaming, extreme sports, or fitness. Williams-Sonoma has several different brands, each geared toward a distinct target market. Pottery Barn for upscale home furnishings, its specialty stores, West Elm, Mark & Graham, and Rejuvenation that specialize in jewelry and other accessories, and home improvement and furnishings that are affordable and sustainable. These target markets are all part of the overall retail market for housewares and lifestyle. Identifying a target market helps a company focus its marketing efforts on those who are most likely to buy its products or services. Concentrating on potential customers lets the firm use its resources efficiently. Examples of the target markets for Marriott Hotel Brands lodging alternatives are shown in Table 11.1.
Table 11.1. Examples of target markets for Marriott Hotel Brands. This table highlights how a single-parent company can diversify its approach by tailoring unique offerings to specific customer segments. We will look at each Marriott Hotel brand, what they offer, and the specific target market they aim to attract.
Fairfield Inn offers budget-conscious lodgings specifically targeting economizing business and leisure travelers. Town Place Suites offers a cost-sensitive extended stay targeting moderate-tier travelers who stay 3 to 4 weeks. Spring Hill Suites offers spacious suites designed for business and leisure travelers looking for more space and amenities.
Courtyard provides business conveniences, aiming for travelers seeking quality and affordable accommodations, designed for the road warrior. Residence Inn features extended stay suites with kitchens, capturing travelers seeking a residential-style hotel. Marriott Hotels, Resorts, and Suites delivers full-service amenities for business or leisure, focusing on grounded achievers who desire consistent quality.
Renaissance Hotels and Resorts offers premium lifestyle stays, appealing to discerning business and leisure travelers who seek creative attention to detail. Ritz-Carlton provides executive travel and affluent leisure with high-touch service, strictly targeting senior executives and entrepreneurs looking for a unique, luxury, personalized experience.
Creating a competitive advantage. A competitive advantage, also called a differential advantage, is a set of unique features of a company and its products that are perceived by the target markets as significant and superior to those of the competition. Competitive advantage is the factor that causes customers to patronize a specific firm and not the competition. There are 4 types of competitive advantage: cost, product differentiation, service differentiation, and niche. Cost competitive advantage. A firm that has a cost competitive advantage can produce a product or service at a lower cost than all its competitors while maintaining satisfactory profit margins. Firms become cost leaders by effectively managing raw material costs, optimizing plant operations for efficiency, making strategic product design choices, and controlling overhead costs. Over time, the cost competitive advantage may fail. Typically, if one firm is using an innovative technology to reduce its costs, then other firms in the industry will adopt this technology and reduce their costs as well. For example, in the 1980s, Bell Labs invented fiber optic communication systems that not only reduced the cost of voice and data transmission, but also increased the speed of transmission considerably, to almost instantaneous. Within 5 years, however, fiber optic technology had spread through the industry, and Bell Labs lost its cost competitive advantage. Firms may also lose their cost competitive advantage if competing firms match their low costs by using the same lower cost suppliers. Therefore, a cost competitive advantage may not offer a long-term competitive advantage. Product differentiation, competitive advantage. Because cost competitive advantages are subject to continual erosion, other types of competitive advantage tend to provide a longer-lasting competitive advantage. The durability of a differential competitive advantage can be more successful for the long-term viability of the company. Common differential advantages are brand names such as AirPods, a strong dealer network like Caterpillar for construction equipment, product reliability, as with Subaru vehicles, image, like Coach in retailing, and service such as FedEx. Brand names can also convey quality, such as Chanel, BMW, or Patagonia. Through continual product and marketing innovations and attention to quality and value, marketers at these organizations have created enduring competitive advantages. Service differentiation, competitive advantage. In today's world of instant connection and social media, services are crucial for both tangible and non-tangible products. Almost every day, news outlets report the consequences of poor service that went viral on social media because the service interaction was recorded and posted online. Customers now demand a higher level of service for all kinds of products. And if the service level does not meet customer expectations, it is likely that the customer will post negative comments on a review site or upload the interaction to various social media platforms. Some small companies have had to close their doors on the basis of one poor service interaction that went viral. Service levels that delight customers are even more important for intangible products such as engineering and accounting. Nearly 50% of the US GDP is based on services. The ability to create the service product, continually refine the service process, and interact with customers, co-creators of the service, is crucial. Higher-level services require more planning, better execution, and constant evolution through the relationships with the customers. The use of service differentiation as a competitive advantage can be one of the most enduring and viable types of advantage. Niche competitive advantage. A company with a niche competitive advantage targets and effectively serves a single segment of the market. For small companies with limited resources that potentially face giant competitors, utilizing a niche competitive advantage may be the only viable option. A market segment that has good growth potential but is not crucial to the success of major competitors is a good candidate for a niche strategy. Once a potential segment has been identified, the firm needs to make certain it can defend against challengers through its superior ability to serve buyers in the segment. For example, Regions Bank's Music Row office in Nashville follows a niche strategy serving music and entertainment industry clients. The office is located in the heart of the Music Row district. Music Row Private Bank has decided to expand its niche strategy to Miami, the epicenter of Latin music, and to Atlanta. The latter is a long-time rhythm and blues capital, and now is the center of contemporary urban music. Both new markets have the kinds of music professionals, entertainers, record executives, producers, agents, and others that have made Regions Bank Music Row Private Bank so successful in Nashville.
Concept check. 1. What is environmental scanning? 2. What is a target market and why should a company have one? 3. Explain the 4 types of competitive advantages and provide examples of each.
.3 Developing a marketing mix. Learning objective. What is the marketing mix?
Once a firm has defined its target market and identified its competitive advantage, it can create the marketing mix, which is based on the 5 Ps discussed earlier, that brings a specific group of consumers a product with superior value. Every target market requires a unique marketing mix to satisfy the needs of the target customers and meet the firm's goals. A strategy must be constructed for each of the 5 Ps, and all strategies must be blended with the strategies of the other elements. Thus, the marketing mix is only as good as its weakest part. For example, an excellent product with a poor distribution system could be doomed to failure. An excellent product with an excellent distribution system, but an inappropriate price is also doomed to failure. A successful marketing mix requires careful tailoring. For instance, at first glance, you might think that McDonald's and Wendy's have roughly the same marketing mix. After all, they are both in the fast food business. But McDonald's targets children through Happy Meals, with connections to popular children's programs or toys, and with in-store playgrounds. Wendy's is geared more to an adult crowd. Wendy's restaurants do not have playgrounds, have decor more oriented towards adults, and offer a menu with items geared more toward adult tastes. Product strategy. Marketing strategy typically starts with the product. Marketers can't plan a distribution system or set a price if they don't know exactly what product will be offered to the market. Marketers use the term product to refer to goods, services, or even ideas. Examples of goods include tires, gaming systems, and clothing. Goods can be divided into business goods, commercial or industrial, or consumer goods. Examples of services would be hotels, hair salons, food delivery services, and accounting firms. Services can be divided into consumer services, such as lawn care and hair styling, or professional services, such as engineering, accounting, or consultancy. In addition, marketing is often used to market ideas that benefit companies or industries, such as the idea to go green or to give blood. Businesses often use marketing to improve the long-term viability of their industries, such as the insurance industry or processed food industry. which run strategic advertising campaigns and social media messaging to encourage consumers to view their industries favorably. Thus, the heart of the marketing mix is the good, service, or idea. Creating a product strategy involves choosing a brand name, packaging, colors, a warranty, accessories, and a service program. Marketers view products in a much larger context than is often thought. They include not only the item itself, but also the brand name and the company image. The names, Ralph Lauren and Gucci, for instance, create extra value for everything from cosmetics to bath towels. That is, products with those names sell at higher prices than identical products without the names. Consumers buy things not only for what they do, but also for what they mean.
Exhibit 11.3. With their computerized profile matching capabilities, online dating services are a high-tech way to make a love connection. Today's date-seeking singles want more than automated personals, however. They want advice from experts. Bumble offers in-app dating and relationship advice content from multiple experts. Articles and videos covering topics like self-love, first dates, and connecting with others. Dr. Neil Clark Warren, founder of eHarmony, helped popularize online compatibility matching aimed at long-term relationships. How do internet dating services use various elements of the marketing mix to bolster the effectiveness of their product strategies?
Pricing strategy. Pricing strategy is based on demand for the product and the cost of producing that product. However, price can have a major impact on the success of a product if the price is not in balance with the other components of the 5 Ps. For some products, especially service products, having a price that is too low may actually hurt sales. In services, a higher price is often equated with higher value. For some types of specialty products, a high price is expected, such as prices for designer clothes or luxury cars. For example, designer shoes are often marked up over 300% above the cost to produce because of the image factor associated with the higher price and the brand name. Special considerations can also influence the price. Sometimes an introductory price is used to get people to try a new product. Some firms enter the market with low prices and keep them low, such as Carnival Cruise Lines and Mitsubishi Cars. Others enter a market with very high prices and then lower them over time, such as producers of smart TVs and tablets. Place, distribution, strategy. Place, distribution strategy is creating the means, the channel, by which a product flows from the producer to the consumer. Place includes many parts of the marketing endeavor. It includes the physical location and physical attributes of the business, as well as inventory and control systems, transportation, supply chain management, and even presence on the web. One aspect of distribution strategy is deciding how many stores and which specific wholesalers and retailers will handle the product in a geographic area. Cosmetics, for instance, are distributed in many different ways. Online retailers offer customers a variety of products for skincare and cosmetics at all price points. Urban Decay and Clinique are distributed through stores like Ulta and Sephora. CoverGirl and e.l.f. use mostly chain drugstores, like CVS and other mass merchandisers such as Target. Redken products sell primarily through hair salons. L'Oreal uses several of these distribution channels. Birchbox, an online subscription box service, allows customers to try new and premium products. For services, place often becomes synonymous with both physical location and attributes of that location, such as atmospherics, and online presence. For example, an engineering firm would develop offices with modern, high-end interiors to denote success. Place strategy for services also includes such items as supply chain management. For instance, that same engineering firm would be managing the supplies for ongoing operations and projects, and sourcing those through various supply channels to deliver to their customers. Promotion strategy. Many people feel that promotion is the most exciting part of the marketing mix. Promotion strategy involves the tools and channels that a firm uses to generate awareness, and more importantly, demand for their product or services. These tools can include traditional advertising, public relations, fostering word of mouth through social media channels, sales promotions, and an online presence including e-commerce. These elements are called the promotional mix. Each element is coordinated with the others to create a promotional blend. An advertisement, for instance, helps a buyer get to know the company and paves the way for a sales call. A good promotional strategy can dramatically increase a firm's sales. Public relations plays a special role in promotion. It is used to create a good image of the company and its products. Bad publicity costs nothing to send out, but it can cost a firm a great deal in lost business. Good publicity includes tools such as announcements to build excitement about a firm's new product or news about the firm's most philanthropic endeavor. The impact is the result of much time, money, and effort spent by a public relations department. Public relations efforts are the least controllable of all the tools of promotion, and a great deal of effort and relationship building is required to develop the ongoing goodwill and networking that is needed to enhance the image of a company. Sales promotion is directed towards stimulating sales. It can include celebrity endorsements, trade shows, catalogs, contests, games, premiums, coupons, and special offers. It is a direct incentive for the customer to purchase the product immediately. It takes many forms and must adhere to strict laws and regulations. For example, some types of contests and giveaways are not allowed in all the states within the United States. Domino's Pizza offers discount coupons, and McDonald's has its annual Monopoly game offering money and food prizes as examples of sales promotions in the fast food industry. Social media is a major element of the promotion mix in today's world. Most businesses have a social media presence on various platforms, such as Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Social media is more powerful as a channel for getting the company's message out to the target market, or general public, than traditional advertising, especially for some target markets. Companies, and even individuals, can use social media to create instant branding. Influencers play an important role in both sales promotion and public relations activities for companies. Through social media, influencers promote specific products, brands, or companies in general. They can also work against the promotion efforts of firms and direct customers to the competition. Consumers have come to rely on influencer opinions as they make purchasing decisions in nearly every category, from clothing to cars to travel destinations. E-commerce is the use of the company website to support and expand the marketing strategies of the 5 Ps. It can include actual order online capabilities, create online communities, and be used to collect data from both existing and potential customers. Some e-commerce websites offer free games and other interactive options for their customers. All of this activity helps to build and strengthen the long-term relationships of customers with the company. Not-for-profit marketing. Profit-oriented companies are not the only ones that analyze the marketing environment, find a competitive advantage, and create a marketing mix. The application of marketing principles and techniques is also vital to not-for-profit organizations. Marketing helps not-for-profit groups identify target markets and develop effective marketing mixes. In some cases, marketing has kept local theaters, museums, and other sites of cultural significance from having to close their doors. In other organizations, such as United Way, marketing ideas and techniques have helped managers do their jobs better. In the private sector, the profit motive is both an objective for guiding decisions and a criterion for evaluating results. Not-for-profit organizations do not seek to make a profit for redistribution to owners or shareholders. Rather, their focus is often on generating enough funds to cover expenses, or generating enough funds to expand their services to assist more people. For example, a religious organization does not gauge its success by the amount of money that its members donate. The Museum of Science and Industry does not base its performance evaluations on the dollar value of the t-shirts sold in the gift shop. An organization such as the American Red Cross raises funds to provide basic services, but if enough funds are raised, beyond just the amount to cover expenses, those funds are used to expand services or improve current services.
Concept check. 1. What is meant by the marketing mix? 2. What are the components of the marketing mix? 3. How can marketing techniques help not-for-profit organizations?
11.4 Buyer Behavior. Learning Objective. How do consumers and organizations make buying decisions?
An organization that wants to be successful must consider buyer behavior when developing the marketing mix. Buyer behavior is the actions people take with regard to buying and using products. Marketers must understand buyer behavior, such as how raising or lowering a price will affect the buyer's perception of the product and therefore create a fluctuation in sales, or how a specific review on social media can create an entirely new direction for the marketing mix based on the comments, buyer behavior, and input of the target market. To understand buyer behavior, marketers must understand how customers make buying decisions. Consumers and businesses have processes for making decisions about purchases. These decision-making processes are affected by cultural, social, individual, and psychological factors. The consumer decision-making process has several steps which are shown in Exhibit 11.4.
Exhibit 11.4 Consumer Purchase Decision-Making Process. This diagram maps out the psychological journey a buyer goes through, moving sequentially down through 5 distinct stages. Crucially, hovering alongside the entire timeline is a reminder that external and internal influences constantly shape this journey from start to finish. Let's look at how a consumer moves through this process. First, the journey begins at stage 1, need recognition, where the consumer realizes a gap between their current state and a desired state. Next, they move down to stage 2, information search, to look into ways to solve that problem or fill that need. From there, they advance to stage 3, evaluation of alternatives, comparing the options they found against each other. Once a choice is made, they reach stage 4, purchase, where the actual transaction happens. Finally, the process finishes at stage 5, post-purchase behavior, where the buyer reacts to and assesses their experience with the product or service. Throughout this entire process, branching arrows show that cultural, social, individual, and psychological factors affect all steps, fundamentally influencing how a buyer acts during every single phase of the decision.
The process starts with need recognition. Need recognition could be as simple as running out of shampoo. Need recognition could also take place over several months, such as when repeated car repairs influence a consumer to make a decision to buy a new car. Step 1 in Exhibit 11.4. Next, the buyer gathers information. If the consumer is making a decision to purchase a home, they might research information about financing, available housing, styles, locations, and so forth. Step 2. Once the consumer has gathered the information, they must evaluate alternatives. Step 3. For example, a consumer might eliminate all homes that are over a certain price point or over a certain distance from work. After evaluating the alternatives, the consumer will make a decision based on those alternatives. Then the consumer makes the purchase decision, the decision to buy or not to buy. Step 4. Finally, the consumer assesses the decision itself and their satisfaction with the purchase, which would include not only the home, but the buying experience as well. Step 5. Influences on consumer decision-making. Cultural, social, individual, and psychological factors have an impact on consumer decision-making from the time a person recognizes a need through post-purchase behavior. We will examine each of these factors in more detail. It is important to understand the relevance of these influences on consumer decision-making. Culture. Consumer decision-making is influenced by culture. Culture is the set of values, ideas, attitudes, and symbols created to shape human behavior. Culture is the part of customs and traditions of a group of people that is transformed into its art, food, costumes, and clothing, architecture, and language, as well as other unique manifestations of a specific group of related individuals. Culture, by definition, is social in nature. It is human interaction that creates values and prescribes acceptable behavior. Culture gives order to society by creating common expectations. Sometimes these expectations are codified into law. For example, if you come to a red light, you stop the car. In some cultures, a young person undergoes a special rite of passage from youth into adulthood, such as a bar mitzvah in Jewish culture or a quinceañera in Hispanic culture. As long as a value or belief meets the needs of society, it will remain part of the culture. If it is no longer functional, the value or belief fades away. For example, the value that very large families are ideal is no longer held by a majority of people in the US, whose daily lives are less dependent on a large household for survival. The impact of culture on consumer decision-making can be found, for instance, in food tastes and traditions, gift-giving practices, and personal care preferences. Beyond products themselves, the aesthetics of a retail space, or the way salespeople interact with potential customers, for example, can appeal to certain cultural values. Social factors. Most consumers are likely to seek out the opinions of others to reduce their search and evaluation effort or uncertainty, especially as the perceived risk of the decision increases. Consumers may also seek out others' opinions for guidance on new products or services, products with image-related attributes, or products where attribute information is lacking or uninformative. Specifically, consumers interact socially with reference groups, opinion leaders, and family members to obtain product information and decision approval. All the formal and informal groups that influence the buying behavior of an individual are considered that person's reference groups. Consumers may use products or brands to identify with or become a member of a group. They learn from observing how members of their reference groups consume, and they use the same criteria to make their own consumer decisions. A reference group might be an age cohort, coworkers in your field, or an interest group to which you belong. Individual influences. Consumers have different behaviors when it comes to shopping and what they are shopping for, such as convenience items, specialty items, or unsought items. A person's buying decisions are also influenced by personal characteristics unique to each individual, such as gender and personality. Physiological differences between men and women result in different needs, such as health and beauty products. Just as important are the distinct cultural, social, and economic roles played by individuals, and the effects that these have on their decision-making processes. Studies show that spending habits among single men and women are similar. For example, research indicates that the percentage of spending single females expend on entertainment is 41%, whereas for men, it is around 38%. There are, however, some distinct differences when it comes to household purchases and online shopping. A vast majority of the grocery shopping is by women. 80%, over half of men, around 60%, prefer to make purchases in-store compared to online or through an app. Generational differences can also be seen in shopping habits. Millennial men are reported to spend nearly 60% more money on clothing and shoes than females. Each consumer has a unique personality. Personality is a broad concept that can be thought of as a way of organizing and grouping how an individual typically reacts to situations. Thus, personality combines psychological makeup and environmental forces. It includes people's underlying dispositions, especially their most dominant characteristics. Although personality is one of the least useful concepts in the study of consumer behavior, some marketers believe that personality influences the types and brands of products purchased. For instance, the car, electronics, or clothing a consumer buys may reflect one or more personality traits. Psychological influences. An individual's buying decisions are further influenced by psychological factors such as perception, beliefs, and attitudes. These factors are what consumers use to interact with their world. They are the tools consumers use to recognize their feelings, gather and analyze information, formulate thoughts and opinions, and take action. Unlike the other three influences on consumer behavior, psychological influences can be affected by a person's environment because they are applied on specific occasions. For example, individuals will perceive different stimuli and process these stimuli in different ways, depending on whether the individual is sitting in class, chatting with friends, or out to dinner with family. B2B purchase decision making. Business to business, B2B. Buyer behavior and business markets are different from consumer markets. Business markets include institutions such as hospitals and schools, manufacturers, wholesalers, and retailers, and various branches of government. The key difference between a consumer product and a business product is the intended use. For example, if a consumer purchases a certain brand of computer for use at home, it is considered a consumer good. If a purchasing agent for a local university buys the same exact product for a faculty member at the university, it is considered a business good. This is because the university is a business consumer, and the computer will be used in that context. The decision-making process. The purchases that organizations make often involve greater risk than purchases made by individual consumers. For this reason, businesses and other organizations tend to base purchase decisions on more data and make purchase decisions based on rational decision-making. So purchases will optimize value for the organization and minimize risk. For this reason, the business purchase decision-making process differs from the consumer process. The steps are similar: need recognition, setting specifications, information search, including identification of suppliers, purchase, go or no-go, and post-purchase evaluation. The major difference between the two processes is that businesses decide beforehand what exactly is needed on the purchase, setting specifications, and then seek information regarding products that meet those specifications. In this way, the purchases are more likely to satisfy the needs of the overall organization, thus reducing the risk. Characteristics of the B2B market. The main differences between consumer markets and business markets include the following. 1. Purchase volume. Business customers buy in much larger quantities than consumers. Mars must purchase many truckloads of raw materials to make one day's output of M&Ms. Home Depot buys thousands of boxes of screws and nails each day for resale to consumers. The federal government must use and purchase millions of office supplies each day. 2. Number of customers. Business marketers usually have far fewer customers than consumer marketers. As a result, it is much easier to identify prospective buyers and monitor current needs. For example, there are far fewer customers for industrial equipment than there are for consumer goods like paper towels. There are more than 125 million consumer households in the United States. 3. Location of buyers. Business customers tend to be much more geographically concentrated than consumers. The tech industry is concentrated in areas such as California and Texas. Aircraft manufacturing is found in Seattle, Washington, St. Louis, Missouri, and Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. Suppliers to these manufacturers often locate close to the manufacturers to lower distribution costs and facilitate communication. 4. Direct distribution. Business sales tend to be made directly to the buyer because such sales frequently involve large quantities or custom-made items such as heavy machinery. Consumer goods are more likely to be sold through intermediaries such as wholesalers and retailers.
Concept check. 1. Explain the consumer purchase decision-making process. 2. Explain the differences between the business purchase decision-making process and the consumer purchase decision-making process. 3. How do business markets differ from consumer markets?
11.5. Market segmentation. Learning objective. What are the 5 basic forms of consumer and business market segmentation?
Most organizations cannot target the total market for a specific product. For each separate part of the market that an organization wants to target, a marketing mix, a set of 5 Ps, must be created. It would be very expensive to try to create a marketing mix for every part of the target market. Instead, companies cut up those targets into specific segments of the market that the organization is more strategically positioned to be successful in targeting. Segmentation also varies based on the target market being a consumer market or a business market. The study of buyer behavior helps marketing managers better understand why people make purchases. To identify the target markets that may be most profitable for the firm, marketers use market segmentation, which is the process of separating, identifying, and evaluating the layers of a market to identify a target market. For instance, a target market might be segmented into 2 groups: single-parent families and families with no children. Single-parent families might look for on-the-go breakfast items, such as fruit, or those in convenient packaging. Families with no children might be more likely to buy health-oriented items or breakfast foods that require more preparation and cooking. Cereal companies plan their marketing mixes with this difference in mind. A business market may be segmented by large customers and small customers, or by geographic area. The 5 basic forms of consumer market segmentation are demographic, geographic, psychographic, benefit, and volume. Their characteristics are summarized in Table 11.2 and discussed in the following sections.
Table 11.2. Forms of consumer market segmentation. This table breaks down how businesses categorize larger markets into manageable, targeted groups based on distinct customer traits. Let's explore each general form of segmentation and the specific characteristics that define it. Demographic segmentation. This form groups consumers by clear structural background traits, including age, education, gender, income, race, social class, and household size. Geographic segmentation. This form analyzes where consumers live or work, grouping them by regional location. For instance, New England, Mid-Atlantic, Southeast, Great Lakes, Plains, States, Northwest, Central, Southwest, Rocky Mountains or Far West, population density, like urban, suburban, and rural, city or county size, and climate. Psychographic segmentation. This form digs into the psychological makeup of the consumer, dividing the market by lifestyle, personality, interests, values, and attitudes. Benefit segmentation. This strategy divides consumers based on the specific advantages they look for in a purchase, focusing directly on benefits provided by the good or service. Volume segmentation. Finally, this approach separates consumers by how frequently they consume a product, evaluating their amount of use, for instance, light versus heavy.
Demographic segmentation. Demographic segmentation uses categories such as age, education, gender, income, and household size to differentiate among markets. This form of market segmentation is the most common because demographic information is easy to obtain. The U.S. Census Bureau provides a great deal of demographic data, especially about metropolitan areas. For example, marketing researchers can use census data to find areas within cities that contain high concentrations of high-income consumers, single individuals, or those employed in certain trades. However, even though demographic information is easier to obtain than other types of information, it may not always be the best approach to segmentation because it is limited on what it can reveal about consumers. Many products are targeted to various age groups. Much of the music industry, movies, clothing trends, and thousands of other products are targeted towards Gen Z. In contrast, cruises, medicinal products, fine jewelry, hybrid vehicles, and anti-aging skincare products are targeted toward older generations. An example of how Frito-Lay targets various age groups for 3 of its most popular products is shown in Table 11.3. Income is another popular way to segment markets. Income level influences consumers' wants and determines their buying power. Electronics, clothing, cars, and some food and beverage products are among the many markets segmented by income. Processed food items are often targeted to lower income groups, whereas products found at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods are aimed at higher income consumers.
Table 11.3. Age segmentation for Fritos, Doritos, and Tostitos. This table details how Frito-Lay segments its popular chip brands by tracking their introduction year, main ingredients, primary consumer demographic, and core marketing niche. Let's walk through each product line row by row. Fritos was introduced in 1932. Its main ingredients are corn, vegetable oil, and salt. It primarily targets a demographic of 33 to 51-year-old men, occupying the niche of hunger satisfaction, according to Frito-Lay. Doritos was introduced in 1964. Its main ingredients consist of corn, vegetable oil, cheddar cheese, and salt. It primarily targets a demographic of teens, mostly young men, positioning its niche as bold and daring snacking. Tostitos was introduced in 1981. Its main ingredients are white corn, vegetable oil, and salt. It targets a demographic of upscale consumers, born between 1946 and 1964, filling the corporate niche of casual interaction through friends and family, a social food that brings people together.
Geographic segmentation. Geographic segmentation means segmenting markets by region of the country, city or county size, market density, or climate. Market density is the number of people or businesses within a certain area. Many companies segment their markets geographically to meet regional preferences and buying habits. A national restaurant chain, for instance, might adjust their menu offerings for specific markets, such as extra cheese on items for urban locations or additional flavor profiles in more ethnically diverse areas. Automobile firms sell more pickup trucks and truck parts in the middle of the country than on either coast. More pickup truck sales happen in the Midwest, from Wyoming and South Dakota in the northern parts to Texas in the southern region. Psychographic segmentation. Race, income, occupation, and other demographic variables help in developing strategies, but often do not paint the entire picture of consumer needs. Demographics provide basic data that can be observed about individuals, but psychographics provide vital information that is often much more useful in crafting the marketing message. Demographics provide the framework, and psychographics expand upon it. Psychographic segmentation is market segmentation by personality or lifestyle. People with common activities, interests, and opinions are grouped together and given a lifestyle name. For example, Harley-Davidson divides its customers into lifestyle segments, from freedom-seeking customers who like open-road adventures to brand-loyal traditionalists for whom riding a Harley product is part of their identity. Two managers could both be categorized by the same demographics, such as the same age, similar income, and comparable education levels. If only looking at these variables, a marketer might create one advertisement to appeal to both managers. However, if the marketer added the psychographic variables that one manager was involved in city politics and coached their child's soccer team, whereas the other was a hobbyist farmer and had no children, the messages might be designed very differently in order to be more successful. Benefit segmentation. Benefit segmentation is based on what a product will do rather than on consumer characteristics. For years, Crest toothpaste was targeted toward consumers concerned with preventing cavities. Now, Crest's market is subdivided, offering specialized products such as Crest Kids, Crest Densify, and Crest 3D White. Sensodyne toothpaste is firstly aimed at consumers with sensitive teeth, but has also expanded its offerings to include whitening and enamel-building toothpastes based on the benefit segmentation concept. Volume segmentation. The fifth main type of segmentation is volume segmentation, which is based on the amount of the product purchased. Just about every product has heavy, moderate, and light users, as well as non-users. Heavy users often account for a very large portion of a product's sales. Thus, a firm might want to target its marketing mix to the heavy user segment. For example, in the fast food industry, the heavy user, a young single man, accounts for over 60% of all visits to fast food restaurants. Retailers are aware that heavy shoppers not only spend more, but also visit each outlet more frequently than other shoppers. Average shoppers visit the grocery store about every 5 days, which is around 75 days per year. Heavy shoppers would be those that exceed this benchmark. This behavior can translate to other types of shopping, such as online purchasing. On each trip, they typically spend more than their medium shopping counterparts. Business market segmentation. Business markets are segmented differently than consumer markets. Business markets may segment based on geography, volume, and benefits, just as consumer markets are. However, organizations might also segment based on use of the product, such as an insurance firm having one market segment for purchasers who need insurance for a new business, and one for purchasers for nonprofits that need coverage for a special event. Characteristics of purchasing function, such as purchasing committees, purchasing managers, or purchasing departments. Size of the client, one segment for large customers who have different needs than smaller customers. Or industry, such as segmenting food systems into restaurants or government agencies such as schools or military bases, as well as other considerations related to characteristics of business customers. Using marketing research to serve existing customers and find new customers. How do successful companies learn what their customers value? Through marketing research, companies can be sure they are listening to the voice of the customer. Marketing research is the process of planning, collecting, and analyzing data relevant to a marketing decision. The results of this analysis are then communicated to management. The information collected through marketing research includes the preferences of customers, the perceived benefits of products, and consumer lifestyles. Research helps companies make better use of their marketing budgets. Marketing research has a range of uses, from fine-tuning existing products to discovering whole new marketing concepts. For example, everything at the Olive Garden restaurant chain, from the decor to the wine list, is based on marketing research. Each new menu item is put through a series of consumer taste tests before being added to the menu. OtterBox uses marketing research to test product features, color choices, and even which phone models to make products for in its line of phone cases and accessories. OtterBox's experts know which designs and features will sell best in which places, not only geographically, but also in which types of stores. For example, cases with waterproof features might sell better in an outdoor equipment store than in a supermarket. Marketing research can use either primary data, where the organization actually gets the data to then analyze, or secondary data, where the organization uses data that have already been developed and published by another entity, and the organization is able to utilize the data for its own purposes. There are 3 basic research methods used for gathering primary data: survey, observation, and experiment. With survey research, data are gathered from respondents through analyzing electronic data such as purchasing habits, through the internet, and sometimes in person. New product development teams may bring in customers from their target market to conduct interviews in order to get input on new product offerings, or may even gather the data in the respondent's home to see how they are using the products. AI is utilized to create virtual environments for product testing, to get feedback, or to test out new product ideas without having to create a physical prototype. AI can also be used to automate survey research, to expand the reach to consumers, as well as to speed up the data collection process. Furthermore, with the power of AI technology, survey-type research can be garnered from multiple sources by scanning online reviews, social media posts, blogs, and other consumer opinion data, and then consolidated to reveal market trends. With the power of AI, what historically might have been the effort of a single corporation conducting a survey about a particular product category or new-to-the-market product idea can now be collected and analyzed from multiple sources to compound the information, giving decision-makers more depth of knowledge before making strategic business decisions. Observation research is research that monitors respondents' actions without direct interaction. In the fastest growing form of observation research, researchers utilize purchase data collected by most companies to observe trends that can be further divided by demographic and even psychographic variables. Technological advances are rapidly expanding the future of observation research. Nielsen Audio uses a wearable device called a portable people meter, PPM, to capture participants' habits surrounding media consumption. The PPM captures TV viewing habits, music listening habits including source and duration, streaming activities, and any other electronic media that the participant encounters throughout the day. In the third research method experiment, the investigator changes one or more variables: price, package, design, shelf space, advertising theme, or advertising expenditures while observing the effects of those changes on another variable, usually sales. The objective of experiments is to measure causality. For example, an experiment may reveal the impact that a change in package design has on sales.
Concept check. 1. Define market segmentation. 2. List and discuss the 5 basic forms of consumer market segmentation. 3. What are some additional forms of business segmentation? 4. How does marketing research help companies make better use of their marketing budgets?
.6 What is a product? Learning objective. What is a product and how is it classified?
The goal of marketing research is to create products that are desired by the target markets chosen as strategic markets in line with the organization's goals. In marketing, a product, a good, service, or idea, along with its perceived attributes and benefits, creates value for the customer. Attributes can be tangible or intangible. Among the tangible attributes are packaging and warranties, as illustrated in Exhibit 11.5. Intangible attributes are symbolic, such as brand image. Intangible attributes can include things like image, as well as the depth of the relationship between a service provider and a customer. People make decisions about which products to buy after considering both tangible and intangible attributes of a product. For example, when a consumer buys a pair of jeans, they consider price, brand, store image, and style before making the purchase. These factors are all part of the marketing mix.
Exhibit 11.5. Tangible and intangible attributes of a product create value. This diagram shows that a product is much more than just its physical core. It is constructed as a series of concentric circles, illustrating how a combination of core physical characteristics, tangible features, and intangible perceptions all come together to create overall consumer value. Let's look at how these layers build outward from the center. At the very center sits the core product itself, which is defined by its baseline physical traits of size, shape, and smell. Moving to the immediate ring surrounding this center, we find the core structural specification, which is the type of material, metal, plastic, cloth, and so forth. Finally, the outermost ring forms the broader ecosystem of features, services, and branding that completes the consumer experience. Moving clockwise around this outer wheel starting from the top, these surrounding attributes encompass the image of retail store, the warranty, the color, the packaging, the instructions, the image of brand, any additional attachments, and finally, service after sale.
Classifying consumer products. Consumers are really buying packages of benefits that deliver value, which always includes some tangible aspects and some intangible aspects. The person who flies with a regional airline is looking for a quick way to get from one city to another relatively close by. The benefit. Providing this benefit requires a tangible part of the product, the plane, and the intangible part of the service, accessibility, convenience, and on-time arrival. A firm that purchases accounting services buys the benefit of having their taxes completed correctly, tangible benefit, and having the expertise of the accounting professional offering recommendation to reduce the firm's costs and taxes the following year, intangible benefit. Marketers must know how consumers view the types of products their companies sell, so that they can design the marketing mix to appeal to the selected target market. To help them define target markets, marketers have devised product categories. Products that are bought by the end user are called consumer products. They include personal care items, food, cars, clothing, furniture, and electronics. Purchasing habits differ significantly based on demographic factors such as generation and/or gender. For example, globally, women account for $40 trillion in spending on consumer goods. Women are the leading purchaser of health-related items such as vitamins and gym memberships, whereas men gravitate toward high-tech electronics and gadgets at a much greater rate than women. Consumer products that get used up, such as soaps and shampoos, snack items like chips and pretzels, or paper products like towels or tissues, are called consumer non-durables. Those that last for a long time, such as laundry machines, laptops, or furniture, are consumer durables. Another way to classify consumer products is by the amount of effort consumers are willing to make to acquire them. The four major categories of consumer products are unsought products, convenience products, shopping products, and specialty products, as summarized in Table 11.4. Unsought products are products unplanned by the potential buyer or known products that the buyer does not actively seek. Convenience products are relatively inexpensive items that require little shopping effort. Energy drinks, candy, snacks, and small hardware items are examples. Consumers buy them routinely, without much planning. This does not mean that such products are unimportant or obscure. Many, in fact, are well known by their brand names, such as Celsius energy drinks, Irish Spring deodorant, and 3M command strips. In contrast to convenience products, shopping products are bought only after some deliberation and thought, including comparing brands or prices. Examples are furniture, cars, vacation destinations, or even some high-end clothing items. Convenience products are bought with little planning, but shopping products may be purchased after months or even years of search and evaluation. Specialty products are products for which consumers search long and hard and for which they refuse to accept substitutes. Custom-designed jewelry, high-end electronics, limited release products, and five-star restaurants fall into this category. Because consumers are willing to spend much time and effort to find specialty products, distribution is often offered within a limited distribution network that could include online exclusive sales or one or two sellers in a given region, such as a Porsche dealer or a Prada store.
Table 11.4. Classification of consumer products by the effort expended to buy them. This table categorizes different types of consumer goods based on the specific amount of time, thought, and energy a buyer puts into making a purchase. Let's look at how these items are classified by examining the product examples and the corresponding degree of effort required for each. First, we examine unsought products, which are items consumers don't typically think about buying until a specific need arises. For instance, buying life insurance involves a minimum effort. On the other hand, purchasing burial plots requires some to considerable effort, and acquiring specialized medical supplies, similarly, demands some to considerable effort from the consumer. Next, we move to convenience products, which are everyday items that consumers buy frequently with minimal planning. Purchasing soft drinks requires very little or minimum effort. This same standard applies to other common staples like bread, milk, and coffee, all of which require very little or minimum effort to purchase. The third category consists of shopping products, which are more expensive and infrequent purchases where consumers want to compare options. For example, buying automobiles requires considerable effort. This high level of consumer comparison and planning is also present when purchasing homes or booking vacations, both of which demand considerable effort. Finally, we have specialty products, which represent unique items where buyers are willing to go well out of their way to find exactly what they want. Seeking out expensive jewelry requires maximum effort. The same complete commitment is seen when choosing gourmet restaurants or purchasing limited production automobiles. both of which require maximum effort from the consumer.
Customer satisfaction and quality. Ferrari targets successful consumers. Kevin Crowder walked onto the famed Monza, Italy racetrack, climbed into a Ferrari F2000 racer, and circled the course with a Grand Prix champion. Crowder, founding partner of Intellis Capital, who earned millions when he sold a software company he co-founded, isn't himself a professional driver. He's a customer of one of Ferrari's marketing programs, the F1 Clienti program, through which Ferrari maintains and preserves historic F1 cars. Then it sells them for $1 million or more, along with the chance to drive them with a professional pit crew's help. Ferrari limits production to maintain exclusivity, delivering approximately 13,500 to 14,000 cars annually, with models starting around $240,000 and ranging well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some customers purchase purpose-built Ferrari Challenge race cars and pay entry fees to compete against fellow owners at company-sponsored Ferrari Challenge racing events held worldwide. The F1 Clienteri program adds a super premium service by giving people a chance to drive the same Ferraris used in Formula One, a premier global racing series with particularly strong followings in Europe, the Americas, and Asia. The program gives customers an experience they can't get elsewhere, says Ferrari Regional Executive, CEO and President of Ferrari Far East and Middle East, Dieter Nechtel. Mr. Nechtel says that the brand experience is very much related to the ownership experience. It's about driving and the experience of the car while doing it in a community of like-minded people. This is why we organize track days and tours in Italy. With road tours in different countries, we can organize almost any experience with the car. What we offer to our customers is often a money-can't-buy experience. Critical thinking questions. 1. For Crowder, the Ferrari is a specialty good. What kind of product would it be for you? Why? 2. Do you think that Ferrari has done a good job of building brand loyalty? Could another automaker do the same thing?
Classifying business products. Products bought by businesses or institutions for use in making other products are called business products. These products can be commercial, industrial, or services products. A commercial product would be industrial equipment, such as a crane or software used for inventory management. An industrial product is used in the manufacturing process of goods, such as robotic equipment in an automotive plant. A services product for business might be a networking consulting firm helping a large corporation set up offices abroad. Business products are classified as either capital products or expense items. Capital products are usually large, expensive items with a long lifespan. Examples are buildings, large machines, and airplanes. Expense items are typically smaller, less expensive items that usually have a lifespan of less than a year. Examples are general office supplies and cleaning products. Industrial products are sometimes further classified in the following categories. 1. Installations. These are large, expensive capital items that determine the nature, scope, and efficiency of a company. Capital products, such as General Motors' truck assembly plant in Fort Wayne, Indiana, represent a big commitment against future earnings and profitability. Buying an installation requires longer negotiations, more planning, and the judgments of more people than buying any other type of product. 2. Accessories. Accessories do not have the same long-run impact on the firm as installations, and they are less expensive and more standardized, but they are still capital products. Projectors for virtual meetings, tablets, and smaller machines such as tools are typical accessories. Marketers of accessories often rely on well-known brand names and extensive advertising, as well as personal selling. 3. Component parts and materials. These are expense items that are built into the end product. Some component parts are custom-made, such as navigation equipment in cars, an external keyboard for a tablet, or custom artwork for product packaging. Others are standardized for sale to many industrial users. Microprocessors for electronics and insulation in the construction industry are examples of standardized component parts and materials. 4. Raw materials. Raw materials are expense items that have undergone little or no processing and are used to create a final product. Examples include lumber, water, chemicals, and metals. 5. Supplies. Supplies do not become part of the final product. They are bought routinely and in fairly large quantities. Supply items can vary, but include items such as office supplies, cleaning products, and gasoline. Supplies, if not managed properly, can have an impact on the firm's long-run profits. 6. Services. These are expense items used to plan or support company operations. For example, janitorial, cleaning, and management consulting services.
Concept check. 1. What is a product? 2. What are the classes of consumer products? 3. Explain how business products are classified.
Eleven point seven. Creating products that deliver value. Learning objective. How do organizations create new products?
New products pump life into company sales, enabling the firm not only to survive, but also to grow. Companies like ATI, Specialty Steel and Materials, Dow Chemicals, Samsung Electronics, Campbell Soup Foods, and Stryker, medical products, get most of their profits from new products. Companies that lead their industries in profitability and sales growth get a large percentage of their revenues from products developed within the last 5 years. A McKinsey survey found that 70% of the top global companies have innovated growth for the company by creating new markets. Marketers have several different terms for new products, depending on how the product fits into a company's existing product line. When a firm introduces a product that has a new brand name and is in a product category new to the organization, it is classified as a new product. A new flavor, size, or model using an existing brand name in an existing category is called a line extension. Coke Zero and Cherry Coke are line extensions. The strategy of expanding the line by adding new models has enabled companies like Garmin, Watches, Sargento Cheeses, Oscar Mayer, Lunch Meats, and Sony Consumer Electronics to tie up a large amount of shelf space and brand recognition in a product category. Crayola offers branded bath products geared toward children. Services companies also develop new products, new services based on market research, or make changes in ongoing services. Services companies can often introduce and adapt their products faster than companies that manufacture goods, because service delivery can be more flexible, and changes can often be made immediately. Due to this, customers often expect and require immediate improvements to services. How new products are developed. Developing new products is both costly and risky, especially for companies that sell products that are goods. New product failure rates for household and grocery products can approach 80%. Overall, companies report that only 3% of new products exceed the typical benchmark of success of $50 million in sales the first year. Even companies such as Facebook, now Meta, which launched Facebook Home in 2013 at an initial price of $99 per year, have experienced new product failures. Industrial goods failure rates tend to be lower than those for consumer goods. To increase their chances for success, most firms use the following product development process, which is also summarized in Exhibit 11.6.
Exhibit 11.6. Steps to develop new products that satisfy customers. This diagram maps out the structured corporate journey required to bring a fresh concept to life, moving sequentially down through 6 key developmental phases. Let's follow the life cycle of a new product as it moves down this vertical pipeline. The process begins at the top, with Stage 1, set new product goals, where the strategic framework and objectives for the project are established. Once the goals are in place, an arrow points down to Stage 2, develop new product ideas, which focuses on brainstorming and generating a broad pool of creative possibilities. From there, the journey moves down to stage 3, screen ideas and concepts, a critical filtering phase designed to evaluate those initial ideas and weed out the weaker ones. The concepts that survive the cut advance to stage 4, develop the concept, where the remaining ideas are fleshed out into concrete detailed product plans. Next, the project moves into the field for stage 5, test market the new product, allowing the company to trial the product with real consumers and gather crucial feedback before a full rollout. Finally, after a successful test phase, the journey culminates at the bottom with stage 6, introduce the product to the marketplace, officially launching the product into the commercial world.
1. Set new product goals. New product goals are usually stated as financial objectives. For example, a company may want to recover its investment in 3 years or less, or it may want to earn at least a 15% return on the investment. Non-financial goals may include using existing equipment or facilities. 2. Develop new product ideas. Smaller firms usually depend on employees, customers, investors, and distributors for new ideas. Larger companies use these sources in more structured marketing research techniques, such as focus groups and brainstorming. A focus group consists of 8 to 12 participants, led by a moderator in an in-depth discussion on one particular topic or concept. The goal of focus group research is to learn and understand what people have to say and why. The emphasis is on getting people to speak at length and in detail about the subject at hand. The intent is to find out how they feel about a product, concept, idea, or organization, how it fits into their lives, and their emotional involvement with it. Focus groups often generate excellent product ideas. A few examples of focus group influenced products are the Procter & Gamble Swiffer, Twitter, now X, and Airbnb's service enhancements. Focus groups have been key for designing all kinds of business products, from tools to keyboards to aircraft interiors. Brainstorming is also used to generate new product ideas. With brainstorming, the members of a group think of as many ways to vary a product or solve a problem as possible. Criticism is avoided, no matter how ridiculous an idea seems at the time. The emphasis is on sheer numbers of ideas. Evaluation of these ideas is postponed to later steps of development. 3. Screen ideas and concepts. As ideas emerge, they are checked against the firm's new product goals and its long-range strategies. Many product concepts are rejected because they don't fit well with existing products, needed technology is not available, the company doesn't have enough resources, or the sales potential is low. 4. Develop the concept. Developing the new product concept involves creating a prototype of the product, testing the prototype, and building the marketing strategy. Building the marketing strategy means developing a test set of 5 Ps. The type and amount of product testing varies, depending on such factors as the company's experience with similar products, how easy it is to make the item, and how easy it will be for consumers to use it. If Kraft wanted to develop a new salad dressing flavor, the company would benefit from the fact that the company already has a lot of experience in this area. The new dressing will go directly into advanced taste tests and perhaps home use tests. To develop a new line of soft drinks, however, Kraft would most likely do a great deal of testing. It would study many aspects of the new product before actually making it. While the product is tested, the marketing strategy is refined. Channels of distribution are selected, pricing policies are developed and tested, the target market is further defined, and demand for the product is estimated. Management also continually updates the profit plan. As the marketing strategy and prototype tests mature, a communication strategy is developed. A logo and package wording are created. As part of the communication strategy, promotion themes are developed, and the product is introduced to the sales force. 5. Test market the new product. Test marketing is testing the product among potential users. It allows management to evaluate various strategies and to see how well the parts of the marketing mix fit together. Few new product concepts reach this stage. For those that pass this stage, the firm must decide where to introduce the product regionally, nationally, or globally. Companies that don't test market their products run a strong risk of product failure. In essence, test marketing is the acid test of new product development. The product is put into the marketplace, and then the manufacturer can see how it performs against the competition. 6. Introduce the product. A product that passes test marketing is ready for market introduction, called rollout, which requires a lot of logistical coordination. Various divisions of the company must be encouraged to give the new item the attention it deserves. Packaging and labeling in a different language may be required. Sales training sessions must be scheduled, spare parts inventoried, service personnel trained, advertising and promotion campaigns readied, and wholesalers and retailers informed about the new item. If the new product is to be sold internationally, it may have to be altered to meet the requirements of the target countries. For instance, electrical products may have different plugs and run on different electrical currents. For services companies, the new product develop process is similar, but developing the prototype can take less time and resources. It will mean developing the service and training service personnel on the new service in order to test it in the market. The role of the product manager. When a new product enters the marketplace in large organizations, it is often placed under the control of a product or brand manager. A product manager develops and implements a complete strategy and marketing program for a specific product or brand of product. Some companies may have numerous brands of the same type of product, such as many versions of hair care products, each with different target markets, brand names, and product attributes. The concept of product management was pioneered by Procter & Gamble in 1929. A new soap product was not doing well, and a P&G executive was assigned to develop and promote the brand. Using this model, the company added other brand and product managers. Since then, many companies use a similar model.
Concept check. 1. How do companies organize for new product development? 2. What are the steps in the new product development process? 3. How does new product development differ for services companies? 4. Explain the role of the product manager.
11.8. The product life cycle. Learning objective. What are the stages of the product life cycle?
Product managers create marketing mixes for their products as they move through the life cycle. The product life cycle is a pattern of sales and profits over time for a product, Dawn dishwashing soap, or a product category, liquid detergents. As the product moves through the stages of the life cycle, the firm must keep revising the marketing mix to stay competitive and meet the needs of target customers. Stages of the life cycle.
Exhibit 11.7. Sales and profits during the product life cycle. This diagram illustrates how a product's financial performance evolves over time, breaking the life cycle into 4 distinct chronological stages. The vertical axis tracks sales and profits, showing both positive gains above the $0 baseline and losses below it, while time moves horizontally from left to right. 2 separate curves map out this journey, a higher curve for total market sales and a lower curve for total market profits. Let's narrate how a product category travels through these 4 stages using the real-world examples provided along the timeline. The journey begins with the introduction stage. Here, total market sales are just starting to crawl upward from 0. Because launching a product requires heavy initial investment, the profit curve actually starts below the $0 line, showing negative returns before climbing toward profitability near the end of the phase. An example of a product currently in this introductory phase is Airwave's Vapor Release Chewing Gum, nasal decongestant. Next, The product enters the growth stage, where the story changes dramatically. Both total market sales and total market profits experience a steep, rapid upward climb. A checkpoint in this high momentum phase highlights internet security software as a prime example of a product experiencing this rapid market expansion. As the market saturates, the product moves into the maturity stage. During this phase, total market sales reach their absolute peak and begin to plateau. Crucially, total market profits actually peak early in this stage and begin a steady downward slide due to increased competition. A classic checkpoint example for a mature product at the peak of its cycle is Coca-Cola. Finally, the product enters the decline stage. In this last phase, total market sales drop off sharply. Total market profits plummet right along with them, eventually dipping back down past the $0 threshold into negative territory. The diagram marks CB radios as a clear checkpoint example of a product that has moved into this final declining stage of its life cycle.
As illustrated in Exhibit 11.7, the product life cycle consists of the following stages. 1. Introduction. When a product enters the life cycle, it faces many obstacles. Although competition may be light, the introductory stage usually features frequent product modifications, limited distribution, and heavy promotion. The failure rate is high. Production and marketing costs are also high, and sales volume is low. Hence, profits are usually small or negative. 2. Growth. If a product survives the introductory stage, it advances to the growth stage of the life cycle. In this stage, sales grow at an increasing rate, profits are healthy, and many competitors enter the market. Large companies may start to acquire small pioneering firms that have reached this stage. Emphasis switches from primary demand promotion to aggressive brand advertising and communicating the differences between brands. For example, the goal changes from convincing people to buy flat-screen TVs to convincing them to buy Sony versus Panasonic or Sharp. Distribution becomes a major key to success during the growth stage, as well as in later stages. Manufacturers scramble to acquire dealers and distributors, and to build long-term relationships. Without adequate distribution, it is impossible to establish a strong market position. Toward the end of the growth phase, prices normally begin falling and profits peak. Price reductions result from increased competition and from cost reductions from producing larger quantities of items. Economies of scale. Also, most firms have recovered their development costs by now, and their priority is in increasing or retaining market share and enhancing profits. 3. Maturity. After the growth stage, sales continue to mount, but at a decreasing rate. This is the maturity stage. Most products that have been on the market for a long time are in this stage. Thus, most marketing strategies are designed for mature products. One such strategy is to bring out several variations of a basic product. Line extension. Kool-Aid, for instance, was originally offered in 6 flavors. Today, there are more than 20 flavors of the traditional powder product, as well as sweetened and unsweetened varieties. 4. Decline and death. When sales and profits fall, the product has reached the decline stage. The rate of decline is governed by 2 factors: the rate of change in consumer tastes and the rate at which new products enter the market. Traditional desktop computers are an example of a product line in the decline stage. The demand for desktops has been surpassed by the demand for tablets and laptops. Sometimes companies can improve a product by implementing changes to the product, such as new ingredients or new services. If the changes are accepted by customers, it can lead to a product moving out of the decline stage and back into the introduction stage.
Exhibit 11.8. Coca-Cola regularly adds new drinks to its product portfolio. While some of these new beverages are close relatives of the original Coca-Cola classic, others, such as vitamin water, constitute entirely new categories of soft drink. What challenges do new products, such as vitamin water, face during the introduction phase of the product lifecycle?
The product lifecycle as a management tool. The product lifecycle may be used in planning, Marketers who understand the cycle concept are better able to forecast future sales and plan new marketing strategies. Table 11.5 is a brief summary of strategic needs at various stages of the product lifecycle. Marketers must be sure that a product has moved from one stage to the next before changing its marketing strategy. A temporary sales decline should not be interpreted as a sign that the product is dying. Pulling back marketing support can become a self-fulfilling prophecy that brings about the early death of a healthy product.
Table 11.5. Strategies for success at each stage of the product lifecycle. This table serves as a strategic playbook, mapping out how 5 key operational categories must adapt as a product moves chronologically through the 4 stages of its lifecycle. Let's narrate the specific strategies required at each phase to ensure a product success. Introduction stage. To set up a product for success during its introduction phase, the core marketing objective is to encourage trial and establish distribution. On the product front, the primary focus is to establish a competitive advantage, while distribution efforts concentrate entirely on building an initial distribution network. Promotion during this launch window focuses heavily on building brand awareness, and pricing strategies involve setting an introductory price using either skimming or penetration pricing. Growth stage. As the product moves into the growth phase, the overarching marketing objectives shift toward getting initial triers to repurchase and attracting completely new users. From a product and logistics standpoint, companies work diligently to maintain product quality and solidify their distribution relationships. Promotion at this stage transitions to providing information to the expanding market, while the strategy for pricing is to maintain prices. Maturity stage. When the market stabilizes and the product reaches the maturity phase, the marketing objective turns toward finding new growth by seeking a new user or users. To keep the offering fresh against heavy competition, companies will actively modify the product and provide additional incentives to dealers and retailers to ensure continued distribution support. Marketing teams work to reposition the product to find fresh appeal, and pricing must adapt by reducing prices to meet competition. Decline stage. Finally, during the decline phase, management pivots to defense, and the marketing objective turns to reducing marketing expenses, using the remaining budget solely to keep loyal users. The product strategy simplifies to just maintaining the product as is, while distribution efforts move to eliminate trade allowances. Promotion scales back drastically by eliminating most advertising and sales promotions. And the final pricing strategy settles on maintaining prices to harvest what remains of the market.
Concept check. 1. What is the product life cycle? 2. Describe each stage of the product life cycle. 3. What are the marketing strategies for each stage of the product life cycle?
.9 Pricing strategies and future trends. Learning objective. What strategies are used for pricing products, and what are the future trends?
An important part of the marketing planning process is setting the right price. Price is the perceived value that is exchanged for something else. Value in our society is most commonly expressed in dollars and cents. Thus, price is typically the amount of money exchanged for a product. Note that perceived value refers to the perception of the product's value at the time of the transaction. After a consumer has used a product, the consumer may decide that its actual value was less than its perceived value at the time it was purchased. The price paid for a product is based on the expected satisfaction that the customer will receive, and not necessarily the actual satisfaction of the customer. Although price is usually a dollar amount, it can be anything with perceived value. When products are exchanged for each other, the trade is called barter. For example, if your car needs a repair, you might offer to do the house chores for your mechanic roommate in exchange for their service repairing your car. You have engaged in a barter exchange. Pricing objectives. Price is important in determining how much a firm earns. The price charged customers times the number of units sold equals the gross revenue for the firm. Revenue is what pays for every activity of the company: production, finance, sales, distribution, and so forth. The money that is left over, if any, is profit. Managers strive to charge a price that will allow the firm to earn a fair return on its investment and will maximize return on investment to the highest extent while still maintaining a fair return. The chosen price must be neither too high nor too low, and the price must equal the perceived value to target consumers. If consumers think the price is too high, sales opportunities will be lost. Lost sales mean lost revenue. If the price is too low, consumers may view the product as a great value, but the company may not meet its profit goals. Sometimes, as in the case of services, a price that is too low will cause the product to be viewed as less than credible and lose sales for the company. Product pricing. Managers use various pricing strategies when determining the price of a product, as this section explains. Price skimming and penetration pricing are strategies used in pricing new products. Other strategies, such as leader pricing and bundling, may be used for established products as well. Price skimming. The practice of introducing a new product on the market with a high price and then lowering the price over time is called price skimming. As the product moves through its life cycle, the price usually is lowered because competitors are entering the market. As the price falls, more and more consumers can buy the product. Examples include gaming systems and flat-screen TVs. When a new gaming system comes out, they are often priced around $500, and flat-screen TVs were originally released at over $1,000. Over time, the price of the gaming system decreases to a lower price point to encourage more sales. And the same is true for TVs. You can purchase a flat-screen TV for around $100, although prices vary by size and features. Price skimming has 4 important advantages. First, a high initial price can be a way to find out what buyers are willing to pay. Second, if consumers find the introductory price too high, it can be lowered. Third, a high introductory price can create an image of quality and prestige. Fourth, when the price is lowered later, consumers may think they are getting a bargain. The disadvantage is that high prices attract competition. Price skimming can be used to price virtually any new products, such as high-tech electronics, pharmaceutical drugs, and cars. For example, the Republic of Tea offers Emperor's White Tea, which it says is among the rarest of teas. Because it is minimally processed, white tea is said to retain the highest level of antioxidants and has a lower caffeine content than black and green teas. The company says the tea is picked only a few days each year, right before the leaf opens, yielding a small harvest. The product retails for approximately $18.50 per tin. Products don't have to cost hundreds of dollars to use a skimming strategy. Penetration pricing. A company that doesn't use price skimming will probably use penetration pricing. With this strategy, the company offers new products at low prices in the hope of achieving a large sales volume. Procter & Gamble did this with its Oral-B electric toothbrushes. Penetration pricing requires more extensive planning than skimming does, because the company must gear up for mass production and marketing. When Ford invested nearly $4 billion in its facility in Michigan to produce lower-cost EV car batteries, it produced enough batteries to supply 400,000 cars per year. If the company had been wrong about demand, its losses would have been huge. Penetration pricing has 2 advantages. First, the low initial price may induce consumers to switch brands or companies. Using penetration pricing on its wines, Yellowtail has lured customers away from more well-known brands. Second, penetration pricing may discourage competitors from entering the market. Their costs would tend to be higher, so they would need to sell more at the same price to break even. Leader pricing. Pricing products below the normal markup or even below cost to attract customers to a store where they wouldn't otherwise shop is leader pricing. A product priced below cost is referred to as a loss leader. Retailers hope that this type of pricing will increase their overall sales volume and thus their profit. Items that are leader priced are usually well known and priced low enough to appeal to many customers. They also are items that consumers will buy at a lower price, even if they have to switch brands. Supermarkets may use leader pricing on products like rotisserie chickens, milk, or eggs to attract customers, pricing them at or near cost while earning profits on other purchases. Department stores and specialty stores also rely heavily on leader pricing. Pricing of services. Pricing of services tends to be more complex than pricing of products that are goods. Services may be priced as standard services, such as the price for a cheeseburger value meal at a fast food restaurant, or pricing may be based on tailored services designed for a specific buyer, such as the prices charged for hairstylist services, which vary by the types of services desired.
Ethics in practice. Pricing before, during, and after hurricanes. The late summer of 2017 brought several devastating hurricanes that impacted large areas of Texas, Florida, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. As often happens during events like these, there were several reports of stores, hotels, and service stations engaging in price gouging. Many states have laws against price gouging during natural disasters, but a photo on social media of an electronics retailer charging over $40 for a case of water was widely circulated. A case of water typically costs under $10, so the price was thought to be an instance of price gouging. The retailer quickly addressed the exorbitant price and issued an apology, stating they normally do not sell cases of water, and that an employee wanting to provide a service in advance of the storms simply multiplied the price of a single bottle they normally sell by 24 to arrive at the per-case total. The retailer's response was aimed at deflecting a negative public perception with regard to the pricing error. Another example of how companies might be accused of price gouging occurs with companies that use dynamic pricing, which uses computer algorithms to analyze demand and automatically raises prices as demand increases. Amazon uses dynamic pricing, and consumers saw an increase in the price of things like generators and water in the days prior to Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Juan in 2017. Some economists believe that price increases during natural disasters are a good thing. They state that letting the market forces work to regulate prices discourages hoarding during disasters such as hurricanes, with buyers purchasing more than they need when the prices are kept low. With the increased demand and lower prices in place, firms do not see the incentive to maintain supply because they are making less money. This leads to shortages for critical items needed during natural disasters, such as water. For example, let's say a retailer decides to raise the price of an essential good such as toilet tissue during a disaster such as the COVID-19 pandemic. A customer might not purchase more than they think they need, thus leaving product for other customers. The higher price, thus higher return to the business, encourages the retailer to restock the product when needed, rather than letting the shelves go empty. Critical thinking questions. 1. What risks do companies face when selling a product that they normally don't sell and then are accused of price gouging? Or when they're using dynamic pricing? 2. Why is the use of dynamic pricing deemed acceptable for selling tickets to sporting events, but not during a natural disaster? 3. Do you agree with the arguments in support of higher prices put forth by free market economists?
Bundling. Bundling means grouping two or more related products together and pricing them as a single product. For example, a local restaurant might bundle menu items with a bottle of wine and flowers for a Valentine's Day weekend special. Appliance stores may offer a washer and dryer together for a price lower than if the units were bought separately. The idea behind bundling is to reach a segment of the market that the products sold separately would not reach as effectively. Some buyers are more than willing to buy one product, but have much less use for the second. Bundling the second product to the first at a slightly reduced price thus creates some sales that otherwise would not be made. For example, Aussie Miracle Moist Shampoo is typically bundled with its conditioner because many people use shampoo more than conditioner, so they don't need a new bottle of conditioner. Odd-even pricing. Psychology often plays a big role in how consumers view prices and what prices they will pay. Odd-even pricing, or psychological pricing, is the strategy of setting a price at an odd number to connote a bargain and at an even number to imply quality. For years, many retailers have priced their products in odd numbers. For example, $99.95 or $49.95 to make consumers feel that they are paying a lower price for the product. Prestige pricing. The strategy of raising the price of a product so consumers will perceive it as being of higher quality, status, or value is called prestige pricing. This type of pricing is common where high prices indicate high status. In high-end shops located in places such as Chicago or New York City, products that would sell elsewhere for less are often marked up because of the prestige of the shop and the perception of higher quality. If the price were lower, customers would perceive them as being of low quality. Prestige pricing is also very prevalent in services because services providers with reputations for excellent service are more in demand, often with a waiting list. This is due to the fact that services are tied directly to the people who provide them, and those people have only so much time in a week in which to provide services. Once the calendar fills up, the demand goes up, and the prices become prestige prices.
Concept check. 1. What is the difference between penetration pricing and price skimming? 2. Explain the concept of price bundling. 3. Describe odd-even pricing and prestige pricing. 4. Why is prestige pricing prevalent in services?
.10 Trends in developing products and pricing. Learning objective. What trends are occurring in products and pricing?
As customer expectations increase and competition becomes fiercer, perceptive managers will find innovative strategies to satisfy demanding consumers and establish unique products in the market. Satisfying customers requires the right prices. The proliferation of e-commerce across industries has delivered pricing power to both buyers and sellers. Through AI and electronic data gathering from multiple devices, firms can use one-to-one marketing strategies to create a customized marketing mix and even customized messaging for each consumer. These customized, hyper-personalized marketing messages can be crafted to individual consumers based on real-time data gathering from the customer's online activity. AI and machine learning technologies can offer fast feedback to marketers on pricing changes or consumer product preferences. By gathering sales and feedback data from multiple e-commerce sites and social media outlets, firms can quickly see the impact of changes in the marketing mix to their sales numbers. This data can then be utilized to automate adjustments to budget allocations by shifting funds to more lucrative marketing channels. Finally, maybe the most beneficial aspect of the impact of AI on the marketing mix is the speed and accuracy of data collection. Accurate data delivered to marketers in real time can have substantial impacts on the performance of the business overall. Impact of the internet on pricing. The internet, corporate networks, and wireless setups are linking people, machines, and companies around the globe and connecting sellers and buyers as never before. This link is enabling buyers to quickly and easily compare products and prices, putting them in a better bargaining position. At the same time, the technology enables sellers to collect detailed data about customers' buying habits, preferences, and even spending limits so that they can tailor their products and prices. Advances in technology and the significant growth of e-commerce from even traditional retailers has drastically changed the retail landscape. Amazon's Prime membership, which offers free shipping for most items along with other features for an annual fee, has taken some market share from traditional low-cost retailers, such as Costco. Online price comparison engines, known as shop bots, are continuing to add new features. Price comparison sites like Camel for Amazon price tracking, and Google Shopping help consumers find the best prices, often highlighting available coupons and discounts. In the past, consumers had to click deep into a retailer's site to find out about these additional savings. Capital One Shopping is a browser extension that compares prices across retailers and alerts users when lower prices are available elsewhere. BuySafe provides shopping guarantees for purchases made through participating online merchants. When shoppers buy from BuySafe verified merchants, they receive purchase protection up to $1,000 if the seller fails to deliver as promised. Use of these sites has increased as people have become more reliant on the web, both as a research tool and as a place to shop. According to reports, more than 60% of consumers use their phones to comparison shop while in stores. Much of the growth has come from the more established sites, such as Shopify, BizRate, and PriceGrabber, as well as the shopping sections of Microsoft's MSN, Google, and Capital One. The big attraction with shopping comparison services, of course, is the hunt for a better bargain. Merchants like the sites because they help drive consumer spending. Consumers who use comparison shopping sites for product information or in-store discount coupons spend more than those who don't. One-to-one marketing. One-to-one marketing is creating a unique marketing mix for every consumer. The key to creating one-to-one marketing is a good marketing database. The information contained in a marketing database helps managers know and understand customers and potential customers on an individual basis. A marketing database is a computerized file of customers and potential customers' profiles and purchase patterns. Database marketing can get a customized individual message to everyone simultaneously through targeted ads on social media sites or through email campaigns. This is why database marketing is sometimes called micro-marketing. Database marketing can be used to create a virtual relationship between customers and businesses that parallels the relationships people used to have with in-store merchants. A database is sort of a collective memory, says Richard G. Barlow, president of Frequency Marketing Incorporated, a Cincinnati-based consulting firm. It deals with you in the same personalized way as a mom-and-pop grocery store, where they knew customers by name and stocked what they wanted. You have also probably heard the term big data. Companies such as Meta and Alphabet can process information and then tailor information to provide marketers with higher probability targets. For instance, imagine that you and some friends are discussing a vacation, and you are searching for possible beach locations. That search data can be combined with demographic data and sold to companies that provide travel services to beach destinations. You and your friends then are likely to see travel ads in your social media feeds. Likewise, imagine you are searching for the newest streaming movies to watch on a long flight. You have also recently searched for ways to remove clothing stains. Now, when you go to Amazon or social media sites, you see several ads for new movies and laundry cleaning products. All of this was done through the use of big data and analytics to provide consumers solutions they're looking for, as well as products that they don't even know that they want. Exhibit 11.9 contrasts the differences in approaches in traditional advertising versus targeted marketing using big data.
Exhibit 11.9. Traditional advertising and targeted marketing using big data. This diagram contrasts two fundamentally different philosophies of reaching customers: broadcasting broadly to a massive crowd versus pinpointing a specific individual. Let's look at how the flow of information differs between these two strategies. Traditional marketing through television, radio, or print publications. The top half of the diagram shows the classic broadcasting model. It uses the visual of a large transmission tower sending out waves. An arrow points from this tower toward a massive, dense crowd of spectators, representing the general public. The text above the arrow summarizes this strategy perfectly as sending one message to many. It is a one-way communication stream designed to hit as many ears and eyes as possible all at once, regardless of individual differences. Targeted marketing. The bottom half of the diagram shows a sharp shift in approach. Instead of a transmission tower, we start with a specific marketing organization. Rather than blasting a message into thin air, a long curved line arches over to a select group of individuals standing in a line. A magnifying glass zooms in directly on a single highlighted person within that crowd. This represents how modern data allows an organization to bypass the noise and deliver a highly specific, customized message directly to the exact consumer who is most likely to care.
Companies such as Ford, Kimberly-Clark, and Citicorp have databases of tens of millions of names. The information contained in these databases can be quite detailed. For example, a credit card company can pull from its database all customers who made purchases during the last month at Lowe's, who have also attended a concert, who have traveled outside the US in the past year, and who have children. Companies are using their marketing databases to implement one-to-one marketing. For example, John Deere uses precision agriculture data and digital tools for customized recommendations. Climate FieldView, Bayer and BASF, offers personalized agronomic insights. Various other agritech companies use data-driven personalization for seed and input recommendations for their customers.
Concept check. 1. How have online price comparison engines helped consumers shop for the best price? 2. Describe one-to-one marketing and the role of marketing databases.
Preparing for tomorrow's workplace skills. 1. Can the marketing concept be applied effectively by a sole proprietorship, or is it more appropriate for larger businesses with more managers? Explain. 2. Before starting your own business, you should develop a marketing strategy to guide your efforts. Choose one of the business ideas listed below and develop a marketing strategy for the business. Include the type of market research you will perform and how you will define your target market. Crafts retailer to capitalize on the renewed interest in knitting and other crafts. Online corporate training company. Ethnic restaurant near your campus. Another business opportunity that interests you. 3. Market segmentation is the most important concept in marketing. Why do you think some marketing professionals make this statement? Give an example of each form of segmentation. 4. Pick a specific product that you use frequently, such as a skin or personal care item, snack food, article of clothing, app, or game. What is the target market for this product, and does the company's marketing strategy reflect this? Now consider the broader category of your product. How can this product be changed and/or the marketing strategy adjusted to appeal to other market segments? 5. Under what circumstances would a company that designs and sells jeans market the product as a convenience product? A shopping product? A specialty product? 6. Conduct research to find examples of price skimming, penetration pricing, and value pricing. Write a summary report outlining the examples and how they represent the pricing strategies. 7. Explain how something as obvious as a retail price can have a psychological dimension. 8. Team activity. Divide the class into teams. Create a single market list of products. Each team should visit a different retailer's website and collect pricing information about the goods selected. Report your findings to the class. 9. How does the stage of a product's life cycle affect price? Give some examples.
Ethics activity. As cosmetics companies roll out line after line of products to satisfy consumers' quest for beauty and a healthy appearance, the shelves are getting crowded. How can a company stand out? Products such as Thrive Cosmetics and Method IQ promote their science-backed products and biotech approach to product design to distinguish them from the competition. Other companies in the healthy living market also claim science-backed products, including Herbalife Nutrition, Juice Plus, and Body. The practice of multi-level marketing by companies like Herbalife and Plexus can be a controversial business model. In fact, some companies that previously used the approach have switched to a direct-to-consumer selling model. Basically, multi-level marketing enlists a new salesperson by making the individual purchase training and inventory of the company product at a discount and begins selling the product at retail prices, while also recruiting new salespeople as their downline salespeople. The idea is that eventually, You will make most of your income via the results of your downline salespeople, the people you brought into the business. There are numerous critiques of multi-level marketing, the most notable being investor Bill Ackman's accusation that weight loss company Herbalife was engaging in a pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme is an arrangement whose entire whole purpose is the enrichment of the top of the pyramid at the expense of new recruits. Herbalife was able to refute Ackman's accusations in a lawsuit brought against them by showing that their results were based on product sales rather than recruitment, and that they offered money-back guarantees if the recruits were unable to sell the product. Herbalife continues to face legal and regulatory challenges, including foreign bribery charges and distributor lawsuits. Ethical dilemma. Is the practice of multi-level marketing ethical? How can companies that use the approach conduct business fairly for both their sellers and for customers who buy their products?
Critical thinking case. Celebrity brand endorsements. Coca-Cola now distributes Monster energy drinks as part of its partnership with Monster Beverage. PepsiCo markets energy drinks under its Rockstar brand, acquired in 2020. And Mountain Dew Amp Energy. And smaller companies are challenging the soft drink giants with products such as Bang Energy, Bloom Energy Drinks, and Liquid IV. With concerns about the amount of sugar in soft drinks and the negative health effects that can cause, brands such as Vitamin Water and Bai have garnered significant market share and have been acquired by soft drink companies such as Coca-Cola and Keurig Dr. Pepper. The person behind the success of Powerade, Vitamin Water, and Bai is Rohan Oza, now co-founder and managing partner of Kavu Consumer Partners. After graduating from the University of Michigan's Business School, Oza began working at Coca-Cola, where he worked on brands such as Sprite and Powerade. After Oza left Coca-Cola for more entrepreneurial challenges, he scored a coup with Smart Water, where he was able to approach Jennifer Aniston to become the endorser of the product. Rapper 50 Cent was an early endorser of Vitamin Water from 2004 to 2009, taking equity instead of cash and earning an estimated $100 million when Coca-Cola acquired the brand in 2007. Oza did not stop after the Vitamin Water success. Ben Weiss founded Bai in 2009, building it into one of the fastest-growing beverage brands. Marketing executive Oza helped orchestrate celebrity partnerships, including bringing in Justin Timberlake as an investor and chief flavor officer in 2016. Shortly before, Dr. Pepper Snapple acquired the company for $1.7 billion. Just as he did with Jennifer Aniston and Smart Water, and with 50 Cent and Vitamin Water, Oza works on making sure that he has the correct strategy to match the features and benefits of the brand with just the right celebrity endorser. With Bai, a sparkling drink that features antioxidants as a product benefit, Oza was able to convince Timberlake, an entrepreneur in his own right, to invest in Bai. So Timberlake was not only an endorser, but a part owner, and he has been intimately involved in the brand strategy. This partnership worked as well, because Bai was sold to the Dr. Pepper Snapple Group for $1.7 billion in 2016. Critical thinking questions. Oza has established several successful products in the competitive beverage industry. Why has he been able to achieve this success when large organizations with more resources, such as Coca-Cola and Pepsi, are forced to buy these new successful brands? What types of unique marketing support helped to sustain Vitamin Water and Bai's tremendous growth? Suggest a celebrity endorsement with a beverage brand and tell why that pairing would lead to success. What are the brand attributes and the reputation of the endorser that would resonate with specific consumer segments? This has been Introduction to Business, 2nd edition, from OpenStax. OpenStax textbooks and this free audiobook are covered under a Creative Commons license. The full text is available at www.openstax.org. You can find this free audiobook anywhere you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Instructors can even download a course shell to easily embed these recordings in Canvas courses. Learn more by visiting www.openaudio.us. Did you find this audiobook helpful? If so, please let us know by leaving a comment and sharing this recording with a colleague or a friend.